Well, that is certainly more like the Avalanche team that we have grown used to over the course of a near record-setting first half of the season. They have had a struggled month of January, to say the very least, but the final game in that month of January, they come out and they hammer the Detroit Red Wings, a very good team in their own right, second in the Atlantic Division right now. 5-0 is the score in the first of a home-and-home series that will see Detroit come to the Mile High City on Monday night. That'll be the penultimate game before the NHL, or rather the Avalanche, break for the Winter Olympics in Milan in February. That is what we were looking for, man. Dominant 5-on-5, excellent goaltending, and scoring on your grade A opportunities for the most part, Spring.
And no Natchez too. And like that, they responded. Like that was, could they do it? This was another Montreal-esque opponent, and if you didn't, you were going to get crushed. They crushed them. They shut them out. Mackenzie Blackwood, very good once again. They were just responsible defensively, and they didn't make the mistakes that they'd been making, and so therefore, they lost 7-3 three times recently. Okay, that's 3 goals. Like, that's 3 goals is not bad. Can you not allow 7? That would be cool. You don't allow any today because you were responsible defensively. The goals are going to come. You know, again, they might be losing big of late, but they are scoring some goals. So it's cleaning up defensively. And Nathan MacKinnon, it was his day. It was his day. And facing some criticism after the last couple games, but he's just one of those guys. He's going to bounce back. It is inevitable. He's not going to slump for more than a few games. He was excellent today. And again, with no Natchez, because you can put Valeri Nichushkin on that top line. And that's a guy who, even when we talked about how Brock Nelson had been the one player playing well, but Nichushkin is the one player who always works. He always works. Could
you see Valeri Nichushkin, Spring, in the postseason play the left side on your top line and you go MacKinnon, Nichushkin, Natchez?
You could, but I think it's Landeskog's spot. I mean, I talked about this. I'm going one of the two. I need that size. Now Lekkonen's up there, and Natchez is out, so that means Nichushkin comes up, and I guess Lekkonen's your staple because the Olofsson experiment is over.
Yeah, that's done.
It was a fun few games while it lasted, but Nate's just not going to slump extendedly. He's not. He's way too good. Dude, he could have scored 4 goals today. He had 2 go over or just missed the net. One was pretty wide open, akin to the one-timer that Lekkonen fed him. And you could see him be like, oh.
Oh, the one at the end of the second power play of the game.
And hey, how about the power play?
You know what? I do want to talk about that.
That was Eric Johnson said it on the broadcast, and he's watched a lot of Avs hockey this season. You know, he's doing radio a lot. He's right. That's the best. I thought that was the most snappy, concise, best high danger looks that they've gotten consistently. And they don't score on the power play today, but that was the best it's looked all year.
Without a doubt, Spring. They have 5 shots on goal in the 2 power play opportunities. I counted 3 grade A scoring chances. 2 of them, they missed the net. 1 of them was a save. And the last one is with like 2 seconds to go on that final power play. MacKinnon just tugs his hat trick chance off the short side. And you saw he had the entire net wide open. Where this all changes is the setup. Like they did 2 small changes today in the neutral zone and getting into the zone. They still use the slingshot, and most good power plays do use either a slingshot or a double slingshot to get inside the zone. But they ended up flaring Cale Makar out to the outside, so it gives MacKinnon it gives him a passing lane to a player that he really trusts to get into the zone and handle the puck. Like, Nichushkin still kind of had pucks bounce off of his stick on the power play, but once they got in, they switched from an umbrella to a box +1. and that puts Nathan McKinnon up top. It puts Cale Makar on his strong side, and you saw grade A scoring opportunities all over the ice. I think that's the way to fix it. Go with the box plus one. It forces Nate to move his feet. It forces the Avs to crash the net on rebound opportunities. And then when you can get that power play unit to shrink on a box plus one, you start moving in, moving in, moving in. And that's what creates the backdoor opportunities for guys like Nathan McKinnon and Brock Nelson on the far side if he ends up being on that unit.
Well, and I do think it's not a coincidence that Natchez is out and therefore not on power play one. And it's just more left-handed sticks for Nate to feed. It's, Nichushkin, net front, and it didn't really factor in on the power play, but Nichushkin net front on the first McKinnon goal is huge. Screens John Gibson, and he can, if Landeskog's out, I want that big body presence. Enter Valeri Nichushkin. And it allows, I felt like Nelson on the right side, man, Nelson had a putback that was right there for him, and he put his hands to the sky. Like, how did I flub that one a little bit? But there's rotation you can do on that right side with those left-handed shots. Lehkonen, Nichushkin, Nelson can all kind of rotate in a triangle on that right side. Nate has that left side all to himself. Nate did find himself on the right side on that first power play, but it's easier for Nate to move when he's the only right-handed shot on the wing. It just opens all the space up for him. I don't think it's a coincidence that you just load 3 left-handed shots at the forward spot with Nate. Cale's your only other right-handed shot at the point. It just opens things up for McKinnon.
Yeah, and the box plus one forces you to do is it forces you to move the puck essentially between 2 players and wait until a defender creates a 2-on-1 for you. And the box plus one forces the Avalanche to utilize the 2 best skaters on their team to use their feet. And you saw them scissor back and forth with each other, and not to throw a heated rivalry term out there. You saw them scissor at the top. You saw them go behind the net, and Nate goes out onto the right-hand side, so he's on his strong side. Cale has multiple opportunities, and when he comes down that strong side, Cale Makar, if you don't walk to Cale, he just walks through the middle of the ice and shoots from a golden scoring position in between the hash marks. And if you do step to him, if it's either the high side forward or the strong side defender, Nate's all alone on the backside. It forces you to go, who are my 2 best skaters? Who are my 2 best players? Have them play pitch and catch until someone decides to go to them. And then it should open up a grade A scoring opportunity rather than having to pass through 2 different players. You're passing through 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So whatever they did on the power play today, all of that you described, and potentially not having Natchez out there, do that again. Just keep doing that because the power play has to get better. But they showed today that, even without now Natchez and of course Landeskog and Taves, they're still very capable. But they're not going to win a cup. They need Gabe Landeskog to win a cup. This shows that it is an effort thing. It is a focus thing. But, you're going to be above 500 without these guys, but you're not going to soar past 500. You're not going to be that. So you can lose to an Ottawa, a Montreal pretty easily, and you can beat a Detroit who's on that lot. It becomes kind of like a coin flip. What are you going to get on any given night? What is this team going to be? They're going to be a very good team, but they're not going to be that elite team that whips off 5+ straight in a row if they're not at full strength. But it's good to see that they responded. And how about Ross Colton scoring a couple goals here of late from a similar position? Against Montreal, it was Nichushkin setting him up, I believe.
Correct. And tonight it was Brock Nelson.
It was Brock Nelson, both from behind the net. And Ross is that crash the net type. And those are tricky shots. You see players put those into pads. you see him shoot them wide or high. Ross has buried 2 in a row now. Hey, he's a good player, and it's good to have him back. He missed a couple games.
Yeah, and you need to have him finding a way to score. You don't get paid $4 million a year to be a guy who scores less than Parker Kelly. He needs to put the puck into the net. Man, the forecheck from Brock Nelson on that shift was unbelievable.
Yeah.
His ability to pick up 2 pucks behind the net. Yeah. His ability to pick up 2 pucks behind the net with one hand on his backhand that's so freaking difficult, dude. So difficult to do that in this game. And knowing that he's got a player that all he has to do is thread a puck through the triangle of one defender's stick. Colton getting that monkey off of his back 2 nights ago, I think is huge for him, right? Like if he doesn't score 2 nights ago, does he flub this puck? Does he hit the post? Does he put it right into the winged wheel on Josh Gibson's chest? Maybe he does. Like it does matter when you get off the schneid. That goal was fantastic. The Nathan MacKinnon goal from the top, which is something that like we haven't seen all that much this year, is that Nate Mac goal where he whips across the top and just throws a wrist shot against the grain. That used to be like his calling card. I feel like it's funny. He scored 40 goals this year, and I feel like we haven't seen it all that much this season.
Because you need that screener in front.
Val Nichushkin in front of the net was unbelievable. And John Gibson is a big freaking dude. He had no idea where that puck was. Who was the defender? Was it Mo Sider in the net front?
To look. I don't know who it was. But I feel like
my goal visualizer.
Nichushkin's gonna.
It was Mo Sider. No goaltender in the world is seeing through a double screen of Mo Sider and Val Nichushkin. No chance.
Yeah, and also the bigger defenseman down there, the bigger body you need to get in front of him. And that's where it is. Look, that's where Lehkonen is good, but he's, if he's in front of Sider and he's scrappy, Lehkonen will move you, he'll push you, but you can see right over him. You can't see over Valeri Nichushkin, even if you're the defenseman, not even the goaltender. Like that's important as well. So it's why I want Landeskog ideally out there with MacKinnon. But if Landeskog's hurt, if he's out, I kind of want Nichushkin up there. Just more size. Like the line becomes too small and finesse when it's Lehkonen, Natchez, MacKinnon. I need Nichushkin. I need Landeskog. So it's to me, again, no coincidence that Nichushkin is the one out there on that top line tonight, and he's the screener, and Nate does his, let's find space. Let's find space. I can skate. I can move in tight quarters. Oh, there's my window. Screeners in front. Goal.
I wonder if your top line looks like Nichushkin, MacKinnon, Natchez, and this is for the playoffs. Your second line is Nelson, Landeskog, Lehkonen, but who plays his off wing? That's where you kind of run into the issue there. I really like Val Nichushkin on the top line. I really like him with Nathan MacKinnon.
I do too, but I'm confident in Gabe Landeskog. And I think Nichushkin, Nelson, Lehkonen just feels right to me. And Landeskog on the top feels right to me. It just feels right. Gabe's there. And so Natchez out with a lower body injury, but I guess he's day to day.
And maybe that's the reason why he was so terrible 2 nights ago. And I said it on the show. I said it on the morning sprint. I thought it was the worst game he had played in Burgundy and Blue was 2 nights ago. And maybe it was because he was injured.
He took that reverse hit from Zub in the Senators game.
I do remember that.
That's what it was. And then, so then he maybe plays through that against Montreal, doesn't play well at all. And then they just give him a day. But he's going to play for Czechia in the Olympics. So Landeskog, I imagine he's playing for Sweden. We would have heard something by now.
He'll play. He'll wear a C likely.
Yeah. And Taves, maybe Taves is back for one of these 2 home games. Because they keep saying Taves is closer than Landeskog, but if Landeskog is playing for Sweden, then that means that Taves could be back.
I'm still fine with giving those players their return to action in Olympic fashion. I've said so many times on the post game show, like double IHF hockey is so different from the NHL in terms of the physical intensity and how it's refereed that I would almost prefer a player to dip their toes into the water after a lengthy absence and get your conditioning and get your speed back. And then you come back at the end of February and you go back into what will be a really physical, tough, what is it? It'll be 25 games or something like that. 26 games, I think they have remaining on the schedule after they get back from Italy. That's going to be intense. Like the playoffs come like that. And I think I'd rather see those two players make their debuts back on the ice over in Milan.
It might be, but I expect all of them will, except for maybe Landeskog is the only question mark. And that's Taves and certainly Natchez. Natchez could play Monday, Wednesday. I don't know. It's Wednesday, right, against the Sharks, I believe.
Yeah, Monday against the Red Wings, then Wednesday against San Jose, and then they're done for literally 3 weeks. Yeah, this is what they're supposed to look like, and I'm excited to see them fully healthy. I really hope they let this box plus one thing on the power play breathe for a couple of games, even if it goes 0 for 3 on Monday against Detroit. If it still looks the same way, give it a couple of games to breathe and see if it works. And if it doesn't, then you go back to the drawing board because, well, can't get much worse than it has been.
And so Detroit on Monday, and Nathan McKinnon said after the game, talking to Eric Johnson, I'm glad I caught this. Nate doing two interviews in one game is unheard of.
You just have to be Eric Johnson.
Unprecedented. Yeah, he'll do it for EJ. He'll do it for his buddy. He'll talk to you twice. And Nate said, hey, it's tough to beat the same team twice. He said it's like in the playoffs where you might crush a team, but then, the next game they give you a really good fight, and they're all good teams, like Detroit's a playoff team. So yeah, they learned a couple things today and they should be better on Monday. Nate also commenting immediately on the tan of Eric Johnson and calling it a spray tan, calling him out on it potentially being a spray tan. Eric Johnson denied it, but he's living that TV life now. You got to look good for the camera.
Yeah, but like, where is he sunning himself here in Colorado?
It's late.
Like, you're not going. It's not like it's not cold, right? Like the winter of 25-26 started and ended during the AFC Championship game. So like it hasn't been cold, but you're not going out there tarps off and sunning yourself for 3 hours right now.
Maybe so he is.
And I know, and EJ's been home, right? EJ's working a bunch of games for us with Connor McGahee, and he's there with Altitude TV all the time, and he's doing national games. EJ, where are you, brother? I know you didn't find yourself outside with your tarp off in Detroit, Michigan.
Now
he's doing a great job.
Oh, he's
so good.
What a treat to for him to work for ESPN in this game, ESPN on ABC. But he's gonna get a lot of Avs calls because the Avs are gonna be on ESPN and national TV in general a good amount. And it's fun for us to, you don't have the Altitude broadcast, but you have Eric Johnson, who is on the Altitude broadcast.
It feels like it's home.
Yeah, it feels like it's home, right? It's like when Romo or Aikman do a Cowboys game, even though the Cowboys suck, but it's like it feels familiar, and you're gonna get a legitimate knowledge and analysis of a team that he not only now watches, but has played with a lot of these guys. But Eric's one of those guys that, he's in now. He's going to be a broadcaster for a long time. And he's going to broadcast a lot of Avs games over his career. He's always going to have his, even when, years from now, he's going to know this team and who they draft and and every in and out of this team. So it's so much fun to have him on a national broadcast.
There's a couple of things that also really help him. The fact that he did bounce around a couple of teams at the end of his career, right? He wasn't just an Av. He spent a long period of time with the team that drafted him first overall in the St. Louis Blues. He spent obviously the majority of his career here in Colorado, but he was a Buffalo Sabre. He was a Philadelphia Flyer. Are those the only two other teams that he played for?
Yeah.
Even so, like, you were able to be kind of like West Coast team. You also went to like big metropolitan area in Philadelphia. You went to a place that only has 2 professional sports teams in upstate New York. So like when Erik Johnson is up there, Erik Johnson's freaking Bo Nix up there. So everyone knows him now. And the other thing he has going for him is what you talked about right off the bat. The powers that be that are at ESPN know that Nathan MacKinnon is a fucking curmudgeon when it comes to talking to the media. He doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to talk to Emily Kaplan during a game. He has no desire to do that. You know who he wants to talk to? His buddy Erik Johnson. So if you're the powers, if you're the executive producer of NHL broadcast for the Avalanche, every single game that you have the Avs, Erik Johnson is there. Because I know I'm going to get the best interview with Nathan Nate doesn't even talk like that to like Kiefer and Lyles and Riker.
No.
So if you're ESPN, you're going, we have the Avs, Erik, get on the PJ and come on out and do this game for us. And like, it doesn't stop there. Like when Landeskog, and Landy's a wonderful interview, even if you throw an 8-year-old out there trying to ask him questions, he's going to be great. He's going to be very gregarious. But like, Landy comes back and is healthy and he gets to talk to EJ. You get that same fun banter back and forth. That guy is in. He's fantastic.
Yeah, no, only Erik Johnson is. You got a spark of personality out of Nate, calling him out for possibly having a spray tan. Nate is not doing that with damn near any.
Not doing that with me. He's not doing that with Connor.
No. He would, if it was me or you. He's death stare. I want to hurt you. Why are you making me do this interview?
Why are you wasting my time?
Yes.
You puke.
And, I mean, so the one in game, Erik, he asked him 3 questions, which was a lot for Nate.
A lot.
Nate's, if he's forced to do it in any other scenario, he's thinking 2 tops in his head. The 3rd question was a great one. It was about Gabe Landeskog being out and not having the captain. And hey, Nate, we all want to ask him sometimes, you've been in this league for a while. You're a Hart Trophy winner. You're one of the 2 best players in this league. You are a leader. You are a vet now. How are you in that role when Gabe's out? And Nate answered it so well, and he's only going to give you an honest answer if it's somebody like Erik Johnson. And he said, Gabe's the dad on the team. Gabe's an amazing human being. Nobody replaces Gabe. But if you were to ask Nate that and you're not Erik Johnson, he's giving you a nothing answer.
Oh yeah. That he was the best part of the non-hockey today, and it wasn't even close. EJ was awesome.
It was a great broadcast. It was great for Avs fans. Like on a Saturday morning, midday, to turn on the TV and for it to be fun. Avs win 5-0. You got Erik Johnson. It was great.
Did you happen to catch the new Netflix documentary, The Boys of 80, the new Miracle documentary yet?
I've heard about it, but I have not watched it. No.
Holy crap, is it good? It's an hour and 40 minutes. Maybe you won't. I cried a couple of times. It's just a really good by the book retelling of what happened in 1980. And you realize like how much stuff they had to cut out of Miracle, the Disney movie that came out, in 2004 or whatever it was. And I'm not taking anything away from Miracle. Miracle it's one of the greatest sports movies ever made. It just goes through how many players made the original roster, and they have to make 6 hard. Like, it's not just Ralph Cox that gets cut. at the last second. There's like 6 dudes at the end who are the final cuts. And it goes into in depth showing highlights of that USA and Finland game where they were down 2-1 going into the third period. It is such a good watch. If you're not ready for Olympic hockey yet, that's going to get you in the move.
Okay. I will put that on my queue.
Yeah, you got it.
And it's the timing. There's no doubt that the timing of the release is intentional. Right before the Olympics. And
yeah, opening ceremonies are on Friday evening.
That's crazy. When are the first games?
I think the women's tournament starts. I believe the men's hockey tournament is like one of the last things. They do like men's hockey and then the women's free skate for figure skating are like the 2 last ones that you do. Those are the marquee events. I don't think the men have their first game until like the 12th, something like that.
Okay. So this thing's going to close, or it's going to be like maybe week 2 type thing. Okay. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be the best part of the Olympics. I'm more of a summer Olympic guy than a winter.
Most people are. And I am too. Like if I had to choose either one, I'm taking the Summer Olympics because there are more watchable events. I'm also not someone that's like, oh, it's the Winter Olympics, get out of here.
Sure, me too.
I enjoy watching, like, I'm not going to sit there for 3 hours, but like, if there's ski jump on there, I'm going to watch it for a bit. If there's my favorite thing in the world is to watch freestyle moguls. That is insane.
Mm-hmm. No, I enjoy it all. But I do think the team sport, if you get a good team, like basketball would be great. Team USA is just so good. But when there's like a even playing field, one of the big 4 type things, and really hockey right now is, from a USA perspective, is it's the most competitive. Yeah, this is going to steal the Olympics.
Without a doubt. Thursday, February 12th, the U.S. men play their first game at 3:10 p.m. Eastern, 1:10 p.m. here in the Mountain Time Zone. They play Latvia on the 12th. They play Denmark on the 14th at the same time. And then at 1:10 p.m. on Sunday, second of a back-to-back, they will play Leon Draisaitl and Germany before they get into the playoff rounds.
Okay, the USA are Team USA is minus 950 favorites against Latvia.
Yeah.
Minus 3.5 on the puck line, although it is plus 130. Canada, Czech Republic.
That's a great hockey game.
That is. Canada minus 360, but Marty Necas, David Pastrnak,
Danny Vladar. Who else is on that Czech team, that Czechia team?
I'm probably forgetting a big name.
David Jiricek probably on defense.
Okay.
Here, I've got the Czechia roster in front of me right now.
Good.
Tomáš Hertl.
There you go.
Andre Kashe, who spent, I think he had like 4 seasons. David Kampf with Vancouver. Former NHLer Dominik Kubalik. Andre Palat, who was just traded from New Jersey to the Islanders and has scored, I think he scored twice in his first 3 games over there. You mentioned Pastrnak. You mentioned Necas. Pavel Zacha, the Boston Bruin, will be there. Defenseman Radko Gudas of the Anaheim Ducks. Defenseman Filip Hronek, who might have the hardest shot in the NHL, is going to be there as well. David Spacek from the Minnesota Wild. They don't have Jiricek on this team, but the goaltenders are pretty good. Lucas Dostal, Dan Vladar, and Karel Vejmelka. Like, pretty solid goaltending.
Yeah. So, obviously, it'll be Necas against Kale and Makar and Taves. No Woods. Could that haunt them? Could Marty Necas and Team Czechia get the upset win? I mean, it's funny now that you got Avs elsewhere, because in the 4 nations, all the Avs were on Team Canada.
Well, you did have was Mikko traded before 4 nations?
I think he was traded before 4. Yes,
I think he was. So you were rooting for like Lecky.
Yeah, Lecky was really all you had. There was no one on Team USA, but now that you got Brock on Team USA and Brock's
Brock
playing
was
so
on Team
well.
USA.
Who?
Brock Nelson was on Team USA at the Four
He
Nations.
was, yeah, but he was an Islander
He was an Islander.
just by a few weeks or a couple weeks.
I think I remember myself going, why is Brock Nelson on this team? And then he got traded to the Avalanche, and I'm like, hell yeah, Brock
That's
Nelson's
why
going to
they
be an
care, because he was
Olympian.
an Islander and he was nary a twinkle in my eye. But now, and then Natchez on Czech Republic and Landeskog on Sweden. But certainly Brock Nelson on Team USA really gives me that an actual like true reason to, because if my boys are going up against Team USA, it's tough. But now, I got Brock Nelson to help me out. See, you can only wear a shirt like that if it's got red, white, and blue on it.
Absolutely, man.
Because other than that, Brady Tkachuk is throwing elbows into Sam Malinsky's face.
I can't wait for it. All right, Spring. Yeah, good bounce back game from the Avs, and we'll be back on Monday evening after the Avs take on the Detroit Red Wings for the second time in 3 days. Little home and home action against the Wings. Then they'll finish off the first half of the season is come and gone, but essentially the first half of the year before they take that 3-week Olympic break. Wednesday night against Hart Trophy hopeful Macklin Celebrini and the San Jose Sharks. Speaking of the Art Ross race, 94 points for Connor McDavid. 91 now for Nathan MacKinnon. He is the first player in the NHL to reach the 40-goal mark, and he has now a 6-goal lead on Connor McDavid for the Rocket Richard race as well. So he's starting to inch back up there, but still the betting favorite to win the MVP.
Yes. And I believe I just saw still the favorite to win the Rocket. And, 2 goals today. I'd love to see him win that award just to add to the trophy case and to do something that, to just keep evolving. And how about, we mentioned Pastrnak, you watching the Stadium Series tomorrow, Tampa, Boston?
I'll tune in for a bit. I think the Tampa Bay jerseys are sweet, and those are 2 solid teams. Tampa's phenomenal. Boston is solid.
Are they
I'll
like
watch for
a
a bit.
pirate? Or is there like a pirate map as like the kind of flooring around the rink?
Yeah,
Like,
the printed
cool.
flooring is a pirate map, and they've got all these like they've got like Lord Stanley's Point and like Captain Headman's Cave and stuff like that. They're kind of playing into
fun.
it, and it's
like I like
it's
that
fun.
Actually. Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna watch it for a bit. Is it something that I'm gonna like stop my day to do? No, but I'm gonna tune in for a touch and see what those jerseys look like and see how Raymond James Stadium with the pirate ships is. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Why not?
Yeah, and look, when Casey Middlestad's playing hockey, I tune in. Okay.
And then
That's what I do.
baby girl can fend for herself because Casey's playing. All right, Spring, let's get out of here. Avs win 5-0. We'll talk to you guys on Monday night after the Avs take on the Red Wings. For Spring, I'm Raj. Thanks for listening to Between the Pipes.